So I really wanted to touch back on what we started to talk about in last night's Inspire OP Mastermind, because it felt like the energy was like people wanted to share, but we ran out of time. So last night I shared the quote, whatever you decide to do, make sure it makes you happy. And talking about that, happiness or joy as a lens to filter your decisions through. And just wondering if either of you had any thoughts on that this morning.
Yeah, I like that. I honestly just changed one of my passwords, so I had to, and integrated, choice into it because I have to remember. And I think for me personally, it's helpful to know as I start my day, I have that choice,
Mm-hmm.
to take it on and look at things with a positive mind, try to stay in a good, I guess, in a good zone, kind of. Sometimes I call it a pink bubble, where I just try to keep myself a little bit protected and aware of when I'm affected by some things.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Yeah, I think for me, I love the reminder that, you know, oops, we do have the choice in our happiness, and that, you know, it's a really simple question to be like, oh, is this bringing me joy? Like,
Mm-hmm.
am I happy about this? Um, and we don't give ourselves, I think that a lot of times we don't give ourselves enough credit about the control that we do have around the choices of the decisions we make. And um, to pause and to ask the question like, oh, do I want to take a bath today? Well, where can I fit that in? Even if it's not a 30-minute bath, maybe it's a 10-minute. And guess what? I'll run that bath before I take the kids to school and I'll jump right in when I get home. How can
Mm-hmm.
we make time, create the space for the things that make us happy, so that when we do things that, aren't joyful, we still are getting our joy cup filled in the other pockets and spaces of our days. So I love the reminder just to ask, what would bring me joy today, even if it's one simple thing, and then where can we literally clear space and make sure that we do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Like actually making time to choose things that make you happy. Imagine what our lives could be like if we did more of that.
Well, and what that comes brings to my mind is, I think it was after I had my third child, I just realized I even exercise or anything. My motto was something's better than nothing. And
Hmm.
so often we do rule out a bath because we're like, oh, am I going to have time to really enjoy it? Well, heck yeah. If you are if you have that intention to get out of that moment what you want, I think that that helps a lot. I know, some things we can't, necessarily influence or, generate more time in a day, but you can use it. Again, it's on purpose. We line it up and make it happen.
Exactly. Yeah. And I love that. Anything is better than nothing. Because I definitely do that too. Like, oh, well, I don't have as much time as I wanted for that. So, um, yeah, love that.
I think that's our all or nothing mentality, right? We
Hmm.
can live in the middle of wanting it all and only getting so much. That's where we can really practice to live in the middle of what we want.
Yep, definitely. And
That
with
reminds
that,
me, I have to share that Jason Mraz song. I often hear that, like I want to have it all. And I'm always like, no, you
mhm,
can't have it all. I still like the song, but it
yep,
brings me back.
yep, yeah, great point. And with that, great. So we were talking about using like happiness or joy as a filter for decisions, and then we started talking about where we can actually make time for the things in our lives that make us happy and bring us joy. So I was definitely looking at my calendar to see where I could make time for joy today. And I wanted to open it up to see like what types of things you like to do to infuse joy into your day.
Mm. I, I think a lot of it's just falling into a routine. I mean, that's the one, I mean, that's the one big influence. You know, when I fall out of a routine, then I'm missing out the joy. Because I think for me, a lot of that, and for many of us, it's just like the work world, or things shift out of our control, and then you're
Mm-hmm.
just falling into, hey, I'm doing the best I can. And sometimes what's the easiest to carve off our plate are the things that bring us joy. Because you're like, well, do I really need that? Like I need to, follow through on this commitment, whether it's, going somewhere, doing something.
Mm-hmm.
But I think more for me in the last 6+ months has been the benefits of the joy by making sure I have it at least one activity, one thing a day, and then I can build off of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And I find um, like when in doubt, I can always count on my dogs to bring me joy. And sometimes I'll be working like really deep into something, and my puppy will just like come over and want me to like hold her paw. So she'll like pat my hand that I'm typing with, and it's like I'm like, I can't type if you do that. And then it's like a nice reminder to like, well, maybe I could just take a break from typing for 5 minutes.
I love it. It's like they know. They have some way maybe they recognize some of your emotion, your energy, and they're coming over and helping you out.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, this morning, just before I jumped back on, she was doing that. She brought me a toy, this little
Oh,
unicorn.
oh, I love it.
Yeah. Um, and I was like, I have to get back on my call.
Yeah. Oh, but that's a really good question though. Like, being intentional with the joy day after day.
Hmm.
I think for some days, I wake up and I'm really inspired. Like there's something already planned, right? Or other times it's an idea or something that's popped in my head. But those few days where maybe I don't have that inspiration, I'm just kind of maybe just reacting like, oh, the day is here and now I need to do this, this, and this.
Hmm.
Yeah, I can feel the lack of um, energy, or that I'm missing out on the joy by probably at the end of the day. Like I'm not as motivated,
Hmm.
maybe feeling a little more down.
Yeah, I was thinking about that today too. I was looking at my calendar and I have like back to back to back meetings today. So we were just talking about this like at the beginning of the call, and like I noticed when I looked at my calendar today, I definitely felt that like and then it was like, well, this sounds like a perfect opportunity to find somewhere in here to like add something just for me, like a break.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Sometimes I think of that too, and you're like, okay, I'm going to carve out this 30 minutes and I'm going to say walk, lunch, and I'm going to use it for one or the other or something else.
Hmm.
Reserve that.
Yeah, exactly. Or the other thing, sometimes if I'm just kind of like working and I'm not on meetings, I like to have something in the background that brings me joy, like music or um, we do a lot of like Disney movies, me and the dogs. I break out in song. They look at me like they're not quite sure what to do.
I love it.
Yeah. And they're so expressive. I swear they have the best faces. I was sharing with my boys over the weekend um that the my older dog reacts to my younger dog. So if my like puppy has something that she wants, she comes over and tries to like get me to get it. Like she's like, "Well, I want that." And she kind of like glares at me. And then so I like took a picture, so I was showing the boys and I showed my little one. I was like, "Oh, and look at this glare." And he looked at the picture and he was like, "Whoa." He was like, "What did you do?" I was like, "She wanted a toy." And she
Oh,
wasn't getting it. Yeah. But it just makes me laugh. Good morning, Brenda. I think she's frozen. Is she frozen?
Amy, how old are your boys?
They're my oldest will be 16 1 month from today, and then they're 12 and 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of a similar mix on my end, but all girls.
Yeah. That's why my pups are girls.
Is
So
that
we
funny?
can
Wait, that's why Ollie's a
buy
boy.
unicorns. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so you have a soon-to-be driver.
Yep. He's doing his driver's ed right now.
Okay. Yeah, I've got a 15-year-old, 15 and a half, so we've got the permit. And we've been out and about.
Yeah. Yeah, he's excited. He's ready. Like he's ready to drive and work and all the things, which I'm
Well,
excited. He's very independent as my oldest.
that, that is kind of cool.
Yeah. Good morning, Brenda.
Oh, I think she's slowly working her way on screen. There she is.
Yeah.
Good morning, Brenda.
Good morning.
You were freezing a little.
Oh, wow.
Do you want to share how your last hour was?
Mm. Well, I did some personal self-care.
Awesome. We were just talking about finding time throughout the day to do things that bring us joy, and that sounds like the perfect thing for that.
Yeah.
And Sister B, good morning. Do you want to share how your hour was?
It was good. I got my just some of my devotional done, got some journaling done, got my kiddo off to school. So it was a good hour.
Awesome. Sounds good. Great way to start this Tuesday. Good stuff. So we were talking about in our mastermind, intentionally finding things like to infuse into your day that bring you joy and happiness. So that's what we were talking about. But we are at the top of the hour. So I'm going to stop the recording.